Come on, let's get cozy. Nah, she's coming. Hello, good evening. I'm going to call the regular meeting to order. The time is now 7 o'clock. Requirement of the Sunshine Law have been met. The meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January the 7th, 2024. Electronic notice was given to the NJC 5:39-1.5. We will now start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask that we have Fernita lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if that's okay?
Oh, great.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I know recently there was a loss of a state trooper. So we're going to have a moment of silence as we always do, but just keep having his family in thoughts and prayers. Roll call.
Committeewoman Berkeley.
Present.
Committeeman Carr.
Present.
Committeewoman Mungo. Committeewoman Wright. Mayor Henley.
Present.
Also present, Township Solicitor, Township Administrator Clerk, Assistant Township Administrator, Police Chief, Fire EMS Chief.
We will now start with the presentation for our 2023 Police Department Awards, Officer of the Year, and Chief's Award. Take over, Chief. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chief Private Person, Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. So back on March 26th, we had our department awards. The time we had awarded some plaques, two of our special awards that they had in the committee. So I wanted to do a formal presentation at a council meeting. That was also recognized for their outstanding service. So we did give out some other awards. I have another award for Patrolman Sweeney, but he's unavailable tonight, so we're going to do that in future council meetings. So the first award is the Chief's Award. So during the year of 2023, our department policy has gotten larger and younger. I've had my hand in many of the hiring. I'm proud of the department that we have. Overall, this award is not only a recognition of individual excellence, but also a symbol of the department's appreciation for the officer's contributions to the community and dedication to upholding the law. This officer has demonstrated on a daily basis that he understands what is expected of him. He interacts with the youth in our town, whether doing crossing guard duties or stopping by a lemonade stand to buy something cold drink for a child. I've had teachers at the public of this officer dozens of accolades. Therefore, the 2023 Chief of Police Award goes to Patrolman Latch.
Craig, can you get a few pictures for us, please?
Going down there.
I'm the police officer. Congratulations.
The second award tonight is our Officer of the Year. Overall, the Police Officer of the Year Award is a prestigious recognition that underscores the recipient's exceptional service and commitment to maintain public safety and serve the community. It serves as a source of inspiration for fellow officers and highlights the positive impact law enforcement professionals have on our society. This award is given for consistent outstanding performance that has reflected great credit upon the department and the town of West Hampton. Therefore, the 2023 Officer of the Year Award goes to Patrolman Nicholas Myers.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations. We now have executive session, resolution number 507, 2024, resolution authorizing the Township Committee and support staff to meet in private session and authorizing the exclusion of the public from that portion of the meeting dealing with specific issues requiring non-public discussion, attorney-client privilege, contract negotiation. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Berkeley.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
We'll be back. Everyone, we're going to start with the approval of minutes. So April 16, 2024, regular meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the regular meeting minutes of April 16th.
Second, Berkeley.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Roll call?
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mungo?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
April 16, 2024, executive session minutes. Do we have a motion?
Berkeley. Move. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mungo?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
We will now open the meeting for public comment on agenda items only. Please remember to state your name and address for the record, and remember it's for comment only.
Hello, Lori Flick, Hustis, 14 Canopy Drive. I just have one question. Ordinance C8-2024 about the alcoholic beverages. The only thing I have that's concerning is if someone overdoes it, which most people do behave if they drink at an event, if it's township sponsored, whose liability if they get drunk and get in an accident? That's the only question I have, is we need to think about that.
Just real quick, so on the ordinances, there's going to be a public hearing on each one of them on second reading, so we'll just respond to that comment or address that comment during the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Lost my place. We will now close.
Mayor, I'm sorry. I would like to make a comment by proxy for Mr. Gary Berberian at 138 Winstead. He would like to convey his congratulations and best wishes to those being honored by the PD this evening.
Thank you. We will now close for public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinances and second reading, 3-2024. An ordinance by the Township Committee amending the West Hampton Code of Ordinances to repeat ordinance 13-2017 to adopt a new ordinance of 3-2024 to adopt flood hazard maps to designate a flood plan administered and providing for severability and an effective date.
So moved, Berkeley.
Second.
Now open for public comment. Roll call.
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mungo?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
6-2024, calendar year 2024 ordinance to extend the municipal budget appropriation limit and to establish a cap bank. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion.
Second.
It's now open for public comment.
Mayor Henley, I will again respond by proxy for Mr. Gary Berberian at 138 Winstead Drive. He wrote, "Please convey my support of the budget and urge the Township Committee to vote yes in adopting the ordinance. I note that the Paris aspects of budgeting that is endemic to politics is not so easily seen in the body politic, i.e. the citizenry of our community. So I appreciate the fidelity to this positioning budgeting as seeking to make investments for the present and the future that this budget seeks to offer. So I'll add, in quotes, well done."
Roll call.
Berkeley?
Yes.
Carr?
Yes.
Mungo?
Yes.
Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
8-2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 82 of the West Hampton Township Code entitled Alcoholic Beverages. Do you have a motion?
Make a motion for 8-24, amending Chapter 82 of the code.
Second?
Open for public comment?
Again, by proxy for Mr. Gary Barbarian, 138 Winstead Drive. He would like to note that he cannot find the definition of the term, quote, alcohol. I wonder if it is necessary to further amend Chapter 82 to define the term alcohol. This could be useful or helpful as the ordinance specifically enacts that Section 2 enacts this new subsection that all alcoholic beverages must be in a plastic cup. I have no objection to that language, only that in today's modern viticulture, brewers offering a variety of non-alcoholic beverages. So, for example, would an open container of an aluminum or glass bottle of a non-alcoholic beer be exempt from the ambit of this ordinance? It may help to add the additional necessary language so the public can be guided accordingly. That's it. Thank you.
Mayor, I've also talked to many residents because I am split right down the middle. And there are some people that think it's wonderful, and some people who are very afraid of some results. The people that like it were more looking for things like beer gardens. And they said because a beer garden, you can rope off an area, and then the drinking is only in there, and then you can definitely tell who is over 21 and who is not, instead of walking around. And I know I shared a question with our administrator, and she said, yeah, it's up to the people selling the drinks, the alcohol, to make sure they don't give it to someone who's under 21, but we all know that that can be shared later. And so my concern is people drinking under 21 and how we could work on that. I talked to the chief, who thought it was a good idea, which made me feel much better, because if the chief of police doesn't see any problems, there might not be any problems. And he said that it really wouldn't cost a lot of extra time, because a lot of the police who are there take comp time. But it is a concern, and also there's one place it says it's a plastic cup, and everywhere else in this ordinance, it talks about, I wrote it down. It uses it uses an open container. So I don't know if a plastic cup way down the bottom is going to see people if people see an open container. Is an open container that's plastic like a gym thing that you take to the gym and drink water out of? An open container is anything that's not permanently sealed. So what are we defining as an open container? The other thing that I talked to the chief about, or at least I let him know, there was a law, and it got redone, that said basically if a policeman smells alcohol on a youth and smells marijuana on a youth, they cannot go and talk to them. They cannot ask to see what's in their cup. They have to have better proof that the youth is drinking. I have a problem because I see good and bad, and I don't still even know how to vote. I don't want to take away people's enjoyment, but I also am concerned about what could happen if it gets out of control. At the Civic Association, we used to have drinking when we rented the building, and there were times that people had fights outside. They went to the neighbors and wrecked their bushes, and we even had a gun that was shot off. So after that, we said no more alcohol at the community center.
Were they kids? Were they underage kids that did that?
When we rented it out.
But were they underage kids?
No, but they were adults who were shooting off a gun. So, yeah, I don't know what to do. So
the only thing that I would give feedback about, I think we talked about this previously. There's places where they have carnivals in the summertime. I think we'll start seeing them pop up, around. A lot of those places do have, beer gardens. Meanwhile, you do have kids that are there to enjoy the carnival. So you do have the mixture of young kids and parents who will have a few. I think the responsibility is on the people who serve the alcohol to make sure. I think that they have some licenses that can get damaged or taken away if they serve underaged people. So they have underage kids or underage minor adults that can't drink. So I do believe that the onus is on them to make sure it doesn't happen, and I do believe that is something that they take very seriously. As far as when I've been to carnivals and may have had a beer or two, maybe 3, but they check your ID prior to you even coming in to an area where they're going to serve alcohol or before giving you alcohol. So that's, obviously your decision is your decision, but that's just what I've seen in the past. The same as if you go to a bar. They allow kids to sit at the bar, but they won't serve them.
Right.
I don't allow kids.
I'm wondering if we could do what we did with the chicken, not put it in, but just say, after 2 years, let's go back and look at this and make sure that it's what we thought we were getting into.
I mean, I feel comfortable. I mean,
I feel like after each event, you're going to evaluate how that event took place and how it was, and
Right.
maybe you don't ask certain ones back to
Right.
come to an event if it was not the way that we want to think it's.
I think we have control over it as well, like who we have here and who we don't have here.
Right.
If they're not doing a good job, then, then we kind of move on from that. Like the chickens, it's a new process, right? And I think that we have to try to figure it out, but, West Hampton is trying to keep up with the times as far as even having, I think there's a team that's contacted us several times about having a huge food truck event where they want to have bands and they want to have beer gardens and they want to have all these things. But some of the things that they want to do, we exclude them from, but it's still some of the things that our community asks for. So,
I support the amendment. I think it's going to contribute to our growth as a community and our participation with one another. Also, our chief of police is a pillar in our community, and I believe that he has more than anecdotal insight into the effects of the amendment and how it's going to affect our community, so I trust that.
and at the end of the day, we have to have the responsibility of parents as well. Right? Not for nothing, but we have parents who are responsible for their children, and if they're drinking or not, we can't take all the responsibility away from their parents and what they have them doing. So you have the safeguard or the place that's serving the beer, and you also have the parenting that should be involved. Whether you let your teen out and they come home and they smell like beer, that's an issue, right? So I mean, I don't want to get into the parenting aspect because everybody's situation is different. But I think that we do everything that we can, and we have a fantastic police force. You just seen, we have Police of the Year. We'll put him there if we have to. I'm sure he'll get everybody.
Mr. Mayor, were you going to respond to Ms. Eustace's question, sir?
Yes. Sorry.
She was asking about liability.
Generally, all these questions can be addressed in alcoholic beverages are a highly regulated industry. They're licensed by the state. Alcoholic Beverage Control Agency is who governs and enforces many of these rules. So it would ultimately be the responsibility of the licensee that gets its license from the Alcohol Beverage Control. The term alcohol similarly is defined under the ABC regulations. So it does need to be defined within the township ordinance. I was also just trying to look to see if open container is also defined under the ABC regulations. I can't find it, but I would be surprised if it's not, because there are limitations in the state on leaving a licensed premises with a open container. So under those regulations, what an open container is would be defined.
There's
Did
also.
that answer your question, ma'am?
I'm just worried about this because I lost somebody this way. If somebody gets in their car drunk, I'm not even talking it's the kids. Adults are worse than the kids are. Let's be honest.
Sure.
You said adults can be worse with drinking. Not everybody's like that, but you're going to get the ones that are. You get in a car, you kill somebody that you were drinking at an event. It could happen. Easy.
So I think your question was, is the township liable or something like
For a
that
little bit
happens?
of that, or, yeah.
So it would be the licensee's responsibility. Also, like anything else, any other legal question, it depends. If there's an activity that's going on township property, as we do with any other activity going on township property. We enter into a contract with the individual or the company that's having that event, and they are required to sign the contract, which they take responsibility for anything that goes on. They indemnify the township, and they also provide insurance as recommended by the township's risk manager.
I'm sorry you went through that.
So I would think then we would only hire one company to provide the alcohol, because you wouldn't, if you have 2 or 3 companies all providing it, who knows who's giving what to whom?
I think it would depend on the event and also the type of license they have. Generally speaking, when you receive a license for distribution of any alcohol, you have in your application the license premises, where you have to define where it's going to be. I'm not as familiar with like a catering license, and that's the type of license that I think would be used for this. But most likely, you still have to define what that area is. And like you said, the rope golf where only 21 and over can go, an area like that, and you'd have similar regulations as to where you can carry the alcohol and where you can't. So there would be a limited scope in what their license would include. And so it's not a situation where somebody can go to a beer truck, get alcohol, and then just walk down the street. It would be limited in scope, and I would agree with you that if it's just one person or one company for the whole festival, then it would be that festival. But if it's more than one, you'd most likely have to have designated areas for each individual licensee.
Roll call?
Mayor, I just want to say too, in the ordinance, it says that it could happen at the municipal complex. Is that, I assume that's talking about this building, the buildings over there. And I am aware, as I talked to the chief, that you cannot have alcohol inside our municipal building during working hours.
We probably wouldn't have it during working hours, I wouldn't think.
So I'm thinking
Everybody
if
would
you
be at
have
work.
if you have a retirement party inside this building.
Nah, I don't think that's what they're looking to. I hear what you're saying. That's not what they're
I'm just
looking
telling you
to.
what the law says, sir.
Right. They're not looking to achieve that you have a retirement party during work hours and you have beer here or wine, or I think that, first of all, the employees can't drink on the clock. So that's not something that I think would happen. If they let you work and drink, first of all, you wouldn't get much done, but your days would go by pretty quick,
Right.
I assume. So, with that, any other questions?
No, thank you.
Roll call.
Barkley,
Abstain.
Carr,
Yes.
Longo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes 301.
67-24, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through 5/7/2024. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. There's a couple of things on this bill that I'm concerned about. I did ask, so I've got information. One is a $300 and some treadmill for and it was under the administration. And I was told that it was from Jif for safety reasons.
Who told you that?
I think one of the chiefs, was it you, Brian, who told me that?
Who else?
The chief of police.
Not both of them?
He said it was from Jif for safety reasons.
I know, but I know that you reached out to both of them. So
Well,
both of them told you it's from Jif?
I can look it up on my
Well, on the bill, it says that it has Jif on there, doesn't it?
Jif, right.
Yeah. So, if you want me to answer,
Well,
let me let you finish.
okay, go ahead.
I apologize. So, my understanding is this, and I could be proven wrong, is that Jif is our insurance. They provide, they'll provide different things for the township. They provided the treadmill, which we get reimbursed for. And my understanding is that I talked to both of them as well after they spoke to you, and they stated that, I didn't speak to Brian, but I did speak to Craig, that they stated that, yes, it's from Jif, and Jif pays for it. It was not something that we paid for, but I would tell you, like, you see the ice maker upstairs, Jif paid for that, right? If I'm not mistaken. What about did they pay for the water too? Did they pay for the ice? Yes, they paid for that. So this has been going on for quite some time, where Jif adds different things to help with the health of the people who work here and their work-life balance. So there's not anything, and the only reason why I asked that is because somebody reached out to me and they told me that you said the township was paying for treadmills out of taxpayers' money. But I know that you talked to Brian on Friday, and you just had this conversation yesterday. So, listen, my whole thing is this. If there's something wrong and there's a fire, then let's address it and let's get it fixed, because we're here for the township first. But people just came off of a heavy lift last night with the school board. And now we're gonna say that we're paying for township treadmills with taxpayers' money. I don't know if that's a great
I
message.
never said it was taxpayer money, sir.
Okay. I apologize, sir.
I said it was Jif, but I was told that it was Jif for safety things. My question is, did Jif choose it, or did we say, we have safety money, we're going to choose a treadmill to use with the safety money? Because I think there's other things for safety that we could use that were more important.
Example.
It's my understanding that Jeff also contributes to the health and welfare of our employees as well.
I couldn't understand.
Yes. You see him
For the
shaking?
welfare of the employees.
So we get a certain amount of money each year from the JEF. It's for health and safety. It can only be used for certain things. We've used the money in the past for chair massages. We've used it for fruit. Yes, chair massages.
Where's the chair massager at?
Chair massages at the firehouse, the police department, and then up here, right?
I would love to get into chair massage.
So there's a list of things that are eligible to be purchased with that money. A treadmill is absolutely on the list and encourage employees on their breaks to get on the treadmill and take a good walk. So everything, like I said, so what we did this year and what we've done previously is, once we know that the money's available, we send out an email to the police department, fire department, public works, administration, and we say, everybody gets a quarter of the money. Discuss how you want to spend that money. Here's the parameters that it fits in, and once you know what it is, we'll go ahead and place the order, and that's what happens.
Craig, is this something that you run with? Like, this is something that you do?
This is something that comes through the JEF, commissioner.
So it's not anything that the administrator, that Bob, or just nobody else, you handle this?
So it's from a list of things we could use it for
For the employees, for staff.
the employees.
Now, you are considered an employee, so if you want to get on there,
So when you walk out the door and the stuff that they put down for the curb that's so slanted, it's a tripping hazard.
That's not.
that's not part of it.
So it's going to be for employee health.
Well, employees go in and out of that building all the time.
We can't change the rules.
Like, there's wellness grants, like school districts have that. It's wellness grants, it's for the staff, employees, it's different safety. You're thinking safety, but that runs under a different line. Like, this is for the staff, with their wellness
Well-
and health.
I did try to reach out to people. That's the information I got.
Fair enough.
And the other thing is, I'm amazed that we're still paying a snowplow company $200 an hour to snowplow. And we had hardly any snow, and it was $6,200. And we just spent $400 for cones. It just seems there's a lot of things I question, do we really need? And I guess I need to sit down with someone and go over that.
Do we need snow removal?
This past year,
We had a little snow.
Mayor, that invoice is from January. They just dropped off the bill. That's why we're paying it now.
We had snow. I feel like I had a day off. We had snow. Yeah,
I had to go back during spring break because we had snow.
yeah, we had snow. Listen, you can shovel your driveway if you want, but if you want to hit them streets,
I didn't shovel that.
hit them streets, because they're gonna, when people do something, they're gonna charge us for it. So, what was it, $600-800? If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken on the bill, like, what do we budget for that, like 10 grand?
I'm not sure what snow removal has in there.
Because we budget for snow removal every year.
Right, but this is from a company that we pay $200 an hour.
One invoice was for $1,700 dated January 16th, 2024. One invoice was for $4,500 dated January 19th, 2024.
That was your snowstorm.
We have,
Now, you and I used to different type of snowstorms, but, you know, it was 20 inches, 15 inches. You know, it's different community now.
I just,
3 inches
like
will
I
shut
said,
you
I
down.
just think $200 an hour. We used to be able to
Costs money to run
take,
big equipment.
people who work in West Hampton, who were construction workers and landscapers, and we would hire them, to do snow plowing for us, and it certainly didn't cost us $200 an hour.
What are they gonna plow with?
They have plows on their trucks.
You know I gotta get you. You just said no to a $560,000 truck. What are we gonna plow with?
We bought a dump truck last year, so now we have another
That's one truck for how many streets? So here's the thing that I would say. Either you do the work yourself, right, and then you gotta hire the people fairly, right? You hire the people, you pay their pension, you pay their health benefits. You gotta have more people to do more
Well,
work.
we do. We
Right?
use our public works guys.
I'm saying, listen, if the public works is using an outside person that's because they can't do it. They're not doing it just because they want to throw in $1,600, right? So I'm saying that if you're going to hire, to do something like that, you're going to hire more people, right? You're going to need the equipment. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. I'm saying that it's probably a deeper dive to figure out if that really makes sense to do it versus paying $6,800. I think that you got to kind of rationalize that out. But we do budget for snow removal. I mean, which if you can post on Facebook and see if anybody will help remove snow, and everybody gets shovels and we start red cookers. I won't be out there, and you won't be out there
And
either.
you
won't be
know
out
the
there.
budget is what I'm concerned about. What can I say?
Yeah, well,
That's it.
no worries. Roll call.
Barkley,
No?
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes. 68-24,
Motion
resolution.
carries 3-1-0.
You got to be quicker with that. I know this is your second time doing it. 68-24, resolution authorizing adopting the 2024 municipal budget. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to adopt the budget for 2024.
I second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mayor, you have to open up for a public hearing on the adoption of the budget.
Open up for public. Let's just say that.
We're supposed to have a hearing on the budget.
Open it up for public comment.
Public comment.
Roll call.
Barkley,
No.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1.
Resolution to approve partial settlement of Dolan Contractors, Inc. versus West Hampton.
Berkeley
Motion.
moved.
Second. You say something?
You second it.
He did.
I second. Oh.
Discussion?
Oh, God, you're right.
Roll call.
Barkley,
Yes?
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Consent agenda resolutions, resolution note. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one single motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by certification of availability of funds. Any items requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Barkley,
Yes?
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
We will now open the meeting for public comment. Please remember to state your name and address for the record.
I said I was just going to come for a quick meeting,
I thought it was quick. Okay. Anyway, hi, Bernita Jones, and I'm representing West Hampton American Legion. I just wanted to mention to everybody, this is Military Appreciation Month.
Oh, that's right.
So if you see a veteran, see them wearing their hats, or
Thank you.
see a veteran somewhere, just appreciate them for their service.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's also Mental Health Awareness Month. And the American Legion has initiated this year a program called Be the One, and it's basically a program to destigmatize mental health and peer-to-peer support resources to educate everyone on how they can be the one. And especially for our veterans that are out there, you might walk past somebody and say, thank you for your service, but ask them how they're doing too. You know, they just might want somebody, somebody to talk to. And if you find that they need some resources or anything like that, there's a phone number that you can call. It's 988, and then you press 1. And it's not only for mental health, but it's also to find resources for that veteran also. It's also for civilians too, if you just dial 988. So that's for mental health. Also, for the American Legion at our Post 509, every year we sponsor Boys State. And Boys State is basically a high school civic class. And we send boys from the 11th grade from a high school. We usually do an interview process, and we pick out some of the most well-rounded students, and our school is RV. That's who we sponsor. And we pick out the most rounded students that will go there to Rider University every year, and they go there and they learn citizenship, leadership skills, they learn the working knowledge and operation of state government. And I would like to ask West Hampton Township if they would like to sponsor a boy for Boys State. They attend this June. It's any amount that you would like to give, but for each boy is $300. We have 6 boys that we selected this year too. So it's $300 or any amount, any partial amount that you want to give for one boy. And I have a letter here, and it's also tax deductible.
It's is it a 50, what is it?
503C?
Yes it is.
You want?
Thank
Right.
you. I appreciate that.
So all 3 of us for 300?
Yeah.
All 4 of us will donate for
I
$300 each.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. So we have one boy, and he'll be sponsored, and we already had their orientation just this past Sunday. So we have 6 of them, and hopefully one of them winds up being the president, and one of them winds up being a governor, and and they have a whole Congress and Senate and everything else. So usually we have one that comes back as a winner, and we
You in?
can give a speech and everything.
That's that's 1,500. Well, I can take my
All right.
back.
All right.
Damn.
That's what I'm
We only
talking
need is
about.
12.
All right. That's
15.
what I
Anybody else?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All
No
right.
pressure, guys.
No pressure.
And they go for a whole week. They go for a whole week.
How many kids usually send?
We're sending 6.
So what you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All you gotta do is get one more.
All right.
See
All
what we
right.
can do.
All right.
Thank
Going
you.
once, going twice. Okay. Sold. All right. Thank
Should
you.
have put a little hat out.
That's what I'm saying. Look.
Renita, could you let Wendy know who to write the check to and
Yes, I have a letter right here, and I'll pass it on to Wendy.
Thank you.
And it has the check, you write the check out to you.
Great.
Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to give you an update on what we're doing with our building. We're still working on our grant that was given to us by Congressman Andy Kim, $20,000. It is a bear working through to get this grant. So we're basically on the second step. We have a second process. And I know Past Commander Miller's been working with you, Wendy, and I appreciate all your help on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We have the Home Depot grant that Ms. Berkeley, or Committeewoman Berkeley recommended for us, and that's a go right now. We got approved. We have a list of priorities. They came in, they measured our floor and windows and all kind of stuff. So we have a list of priorities, and they're going to see how much they're going to give us. So, but it's a $1 million Home Depot grant that and they let us know. We just put a list on what we want, and they let us know what they're going to give us.
Will they give you $1 million?
I hope so. So that for that. I also like to thank Public Works for coming out and fixing our, what are they called?
Gutters.
Gutters, yes. Coming out and fixing our gutters. We appreciate that because they were falling apart. So we really appreciate that, keeping our building up to code and everything else. And finally, and not least, I'd like to invite all of you to come out for Memorial Day service over there at our building, right at the flag post at 10 o'clock on Memorial Day. Come out there, and we'll have a couple of veteran organizations. I'd like to personally invite the mayor, deputy mayor, all the committee to come out. Wendy, too.
You guys need to drill.
Yeah, about everybody. Post it on if you could post it on the township page, that we're doing it at 10 o'clock at the flagpole. And
How long are you guys out there for?
How long we out there?
Yeah.
Probably about an hour.
So you might need to do a little grilling.
You want to do some grilling?
I don't.
That right?
I wanna
All
eat.
right.
I don't-
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's up to you. You know. So.
Talk to the guys over there.
Yes. Okay. We can talk. But I have just a thing that you can put on the website. Everybody's invited, 10 o'clock at the flagpole and everything else. If it rains, we're not going to be there, okay? We don't salute the flag.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Can we
All right.
add that to our dates to remember for our next?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Good.
Other comments?
Mayor,
Now,
I have another. Gary Barbarian, 138 Winston. I made use of the township website personnel directory to invoke the Contact Us template to compose a message to a specific township employee. I have been waiting over a week for a reply. I have a concern that the Contact Us template is not routing messages properly. That could be true. Is there a way to check this to confirm that these Contact Us messages we are composing and sending are indeed routing properly? Thank you. I noticed on the township website the GEM displaying the message about the Rolling Hills streetlights are being installed. I want to confirm that the installation is for just Rolling Hills only, or by chance, does that include Rolling Hills East? Would someone just follow up and/or clarify that message on the GEM display on the website? Doing that would mitigate any confusion. Thank you. Regarding streetlights, I did a simple search for the compound term streetlight, and as a phrase, streetlight in the township code on the E-code site, I noticed there were no hits. I suppose that is possible, but wanted a second set of better trained eyes to confirm that the compound work or phrase is indeed absent in the entire code. If there is no such mention of streetlight, I am curious to know if there is a specific reason for no such ordinance regarding streetlights. Is this a topic that the committee has considered but not ever having risen to threshold for legislative action? Or the committee has considered this topic in legislation, but for whatever reason, the legislation fails to pass? If that is the case, can I get some context around those efforts? Also, I want to know if the state of New Jersey preempts municipalities from passing local legislation around streetlights. If we, i.e. the municipality, is not preempted, perhaps we can give a think to having a workshop session on the need for legislation to affect streetlights within our township. Specifically, I am concerned that I see quite a few streetlights that appear to have an angle of deflection lesser than 2 degrees. If we are unable to have a rotation of new streetlights installed, it may be something the committee take into account as a way to at least mandate the owner of streetlights to correct the 2-degree angle of deflection. Thank you.
now we'll have all in favor to close Public comment? Aye. Date to remember. Next Township Committee meeting will be May 21st at 7 p.m. Land Development Board meeting will be June 5th at 7 p.m. Historic Commission May 22nd at 7 p.m. Recreation Committee meeting May 8th at 7 p.m. And Stop the Bleeding at Firehouse is May 16th at 6:30 p.m. Do we have any comments from liaison reports?
Mayor, I would like to thank you and congratulate you on your new position at the county.
Thank you.
The mayor has been appointed the chief of staff of all of Burlington County. I think that's number 2 of the whole county, isn't it, sir?
I don't keep track
Or
of
number 1, somewhere up there. But it's a very important job, and it was quite an honor to have him be appointed to that. Last night, you talked about the Board of Ed. I did go to the Board of Ed meeting. It seems like they are quite in straits. They had said that they had to find how to cut $600,000 from their budget. And I'm sure you've seen on Facebook, they've had to cut teachers and things like that. One of the things I've always felt bad is it's a balancing act. If someone doesn't pay their taxes, we still are required to pay the taxes to the school because their budget, they don't collect the taxes. But if we also get more taxes during that time, and we had that incident when we were doing a lot of pilot deals, we would get the money and they would get nothing. And the question came up, and I'm just throwing this out, with the new development, with the apartments and the townhouses that are coming in, some are starting to come in. I think they have 22 new students, they said, at the school. And they anticipate in September a lot more are going to just wait till the new school year. And so they don't know what they're up against, especially when they had to cut teachers. And I was wondering, when we get the taxes from the Horton development, what's it called, Laurel Run?
Mm-hmm.
If we could sit down with the school, especially if the year's half over and we found that we have not used a lot of our money we saved for unpaid taxes, if there's somehow we could help the school out with some of the needs, we can't hire teachers for them, but if there are certain needs that we could use some of that money that normally that percentage would go to them, or even part of them, that we could work together. Or maybe we could have shared services that we wouldn't charge them as much as normal so that they could save money that way. I just think that we're all one community, we're all one residents, and being a retired teacher, I feel, and as many of you do feel, the education of our students is extremely important. They are our future. And the school district is really having a very difficult time, especially facing, they have no idea how many students are going to be coming from Laurel Hill. So if you would like to discuss that with the administrator and wrap it around, see what you could do, if that's good or bad. I know legally there's things that the lawyer has to talk about.
Well, I will say this. This is very confusing because we've increased our taxes 6.7 cents. Fairly. I'm grateful for West Hampton schools. I'm grateful. My daughter has an opportunity to go to a 4-year school. My son has an opportunity to go to a 4-year school. Between West Hampton schools and their mother, I don't know if that would be possible. So I'm grateful for West Hampton schools. But right now, 85% of our budget are the people who work here. How many homes are over there at Laurel Run, approximately?
400? About 500?
498, approximately. So we'll probably need more police that we got to pay for, the township. We'll need more police presence. We'll need more fire presence. We're in the middle of looking at building a firehouse that's going to cost $17 million. We have no fire presence across town to support that over there, so we're probably going to need, last I checked, we need $1 million to update that. I don't know that we're in a position to give away money. Now, what I will say is that the commitment that was made prior to me that we lived up to was we did the basketball courts that worked great. And we also did the hockey rink for nothing, for free. Now, obviously, if the school needs something, we're always a place to turn to be good partners, but we also got to be wary of what we can do for the residents as well and where we're at. I mean, again, 6.7 cents. I mean, literally, we're just trying to cut. You were speaking of cutting, you know, some of the things that, you know, some people deem it found essential in order to reduce that number. Now, I can tell you, when we talked about raising the tax to 6.7 cents, I went to our tax person. I went to Maria. I asked Maria, can she get a number? And Maria sat and she talked with our accountant to kind of look at what our taxes look like for next year that we may collect from the property at Laurel Run. That's one of the reasons why our taxes only went up 6.7 cents, because we believe that we're going to get over $400,000 from them. And they also are paying school tax as well. Now, what I would say is that, correct, there are times that pilots were done. We did a pilot. That pilot was injecting almost $400,000 into a budget that we still raised 6.7 cents. So without that, so to be clear, this is the other thing. I got to say this. When you get a pilot, the money that you're getting from the pilot at the township is higher than the money you'd get if you didn't do it. Correct. The schools didn't do it, but the schools don't get money from that. But I personally talked to the superintendent at that time, and I asked him about the pilot and could we sustain it. So we were responsible even in doing that. So I think that we have to be good custodians and work with each other, but also we want to make sure that we are responsible to the end that we have to hold up. We can't give away money and not have enough police. Can't give away money and not have enough fire. We can't give away money and we can't shovel the streets. We just complained about shoveling the streets. So, I mean, I think that we have to have a balance and we have to be responsible and custodians of the township of West Hampton. I understand the schools has an issue, and we've done what we can to be helpful, and we continue to do what we can to be helpful. But, I mean, I don't think the answer is given away. So then what happens is the residents are now paying school tax, right?
No, the Laurel Hill does not pay school taxes once their budget is set.
Why did you say that?
Because I know the law. Once their budget is set, Laurel Hill pays taxes, but none of that goes to the school.
That's not true. I know you're a nighttime lawyer.
So,
That's not true.
Mayor, there's a lag. If a
There's
CO,
a lag.
if the CO is issued in 2024, all the taxes collected for 2024 would be held by the township. There would be a contribution to the schools.
There would
However,
be, right?
when
There
they
would
come on-
be.
There would not be.
There would be.
However, in 2025,
Correct.
that
Yes,
that
there's a
property
lag
would be
because of
taxed.
the-
So it's just a lag,
But
and
they pay. They pay. I actually just talked to Maria today. 'Cause I knew this question was coming up, and Maria said herself, our tax person said, no.
And so you have
They pay
498,
school tax.
if you have 498 units, they're not all going to be granted a CO at the same time.
Right.
They're going to be phased in. So the net effect, and while that's a large development, the net effect is not going to be that great on the schools, for that lag, because some are going to be issued a CO in December, and it's going to be 1 month's worth of taxes that's retained by the township and not shared with the schools. There's going to be some others that are January and February, and it's a larger amount, but over probably a 3-year phase of phasing in of that development, it's not going to have that great of an effect on the schools.
But for the first year, after they pass their budget last night, until they pass a new budget, they can't get any extra money from anywhere because their budget is already set.
We didn't
So-
get extra money.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do. You get the whatever tax.
Oh, no, we don't get the taxes. We don't get any extra money. We got the fees But we got the fees last year.
You get whatever taxes are collected from the people that move in.
What are you doing with my money?
Huh? But what I'm saying is when we're budgeting for that, unless I'm mistaken, when we're budgeting for that, we're not budgeting for that money. We couldn't budget for that. When I talked to our accounting, we couldn't budget for that money until next year.
Because you're not sure who and how many are going to move in.
But it's the same thing, right? The schools couldn't budget for that money, and we didn't budget for that money. We didn't budget for that money.
And that's what I'm saying. If we get money we did not budget for and it becomes a lot, could we work with the school to try to help them out?
What's a lot? What's the number that you think that we should do? Give us some direction.
Let's say 300 townhomes pay taxes and they're worth, their value is $389,000 each. They're paying a good amount of taxes.
So how much, what are you saying that we should give away and that we would get? So what's the number? I just told you that they said that it's projected that we get a little over $400,000 next year from those taxes, from those homes.
And that was a guess, right?
That was an educated guess because it came from the people who should know.
Right.
It came from the accountant that does our accountant work in our budget, and it comes from our tax person.
My guesstimate would be each townhouse would be paying $8,000 a year in taxes.
No. It's gonna be a little over $400,000. So what are you suggesting that we do? Are you suggesting that we give up a certain amount of, what are you suggesting that we do? I'm telling you what the number's gonna be.
I'm saying that normally, if the school was getting 30% of the taxes that people pay, we look at that 30% at the end of next year and say, did we really need that the school didn't get, or could we give some to the school to help them out?
And what I'm saying is, if you gotta hire more police officers, you gotta hire more firefighters, you got a $17 million firehouse, and we're gonna get about $400,000. I mean, want me to pull my pockets out? Like, where's the extra money coming from? You see what I'm saying?
Where's the $600,000 deficit coming from? This couldn't be.
That's what the school had, and they had to lay off people because they had a $600,000.
And listen, respectfully, I'm not gonna comment on the schools because I'm not doing their budget. I don't know their situation, and I know that those people work hard. So I'm not gonna do that. But what I'm saying is, we got our own problems. You know what I mean? Like, and if they're injecting 22 people into the school, all I'm saying is, Nancy, is this, and it's just something to consider. I understand that you're coming up with a plan. I understand you're coming up with a problem. I just would like more of a detailed solution. I know that we're going to get about over $400,000 next year for those properties. I know that we just raised taxes 6.7 cents, which is about $150 a household. I know because we've added 498 units that are going to be eventually there, that we're going to have to add more police. I know that we're going to need a fire presence across town. That's going to cost $1 million. I know that the firehouse right now is $17 million. These are the factors that I know. Respectfully, I don't know where that money comes from without you then raising the taxes of the people who currently live here.
I just wanted to throw it out.
Okay, fair
That
enough.
it's a problem, and, if we're collecting what normally would go to the school, and it's not because the budget's been set, that's okay. We can't go on and on and on. I wanted you to talk about it and think about it for a while.
I thought about it. Anybody else? And I'm not the one who makes the decision. We have a committee, and we have a board. And that's what the board's supposed to do. They're supposed to talk about it. We're not always supposed to agree. We don't have to agree. And that's okay, right? Because we're trying to think of a way to help our schools. And that's the way it's supposed to be. If we sat up here and we agreed all the time, then that's not what our government is made for. What you got?
I don't.
Did I talk you out of not doing so?
I'm good.
What about you, Odie?
I don't even want to get started.
So upset, he had his arms folded. I have a question. So now that we passed this, can the American Legion have open containers?
Have what?
Open containers. So why I say that is this, like the American Legion over there, because there are American Legions that do different things, like for fundraisers, so that's why I asked that question. And they're building up, right? They have some things that they need to do, they're getting the grant, and we've kind of said that we would give them some community redevelopment money, but if they have an opportunity to be able to raise some of their own money, then we have to give them less. And Holly Hill street lights, that's for like where the cars are parked? Rolling Hills, I'm sorry. That's where the cars are parked?
So the Rolling Hills streetlights that were replaced are all the ones that are owned by PSE&G that have the tags on them. All we did was just replace the bulb to be a little bit brighter because the residents were complaining that it wasn't light enough
Yes.
when they were walking around at night.
So with the residents, so why this is important, because residents, they complain that they felt like there were people that were parked in some of the side lots, that there were some kids that were hanging out there, there were people there drinking sometimes, and they felt like if we had brighter lights, that would help. So I don't know how exactly that happened, but I know I brought it up because a resident did call me more than once and complained about that lighting. So, thank you for that. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Oh, we got time. We have a black one? No, black pen.